Ready or not?
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Wow, that's the teacher in me. I want to hear lots. So my name is Marty Adams, and I'm the Adult Programming Coordinator here for Peter Public Library. And I have to thank two groups here. I have to thank the Friends of Peter Public Library. If you're enjoying that popcorn, go and grab some more because we have a lot of it. And that is courtesy of the Friends. And then also, if you're watching on YouTube right now via live stream, on the live stream equipment is from the Friends as well. And then I also have to thank the Carol Paul Memorial Trust Fund, who paid these guys to be here. So, all right. So, we have a few things upcoming. Tomorrow night we have another installment of Northwards in Music with B.G. Bradley, Big Lake Acoustic, Mr. Jim from the Children's Museum, Jackie Love. I just like saying Jackie Love because I think it's such a great name. And I will be up here as well, and it's poetry, stories, music, and the theme for tomorrow night is Golden Oldies. And that describes the music, not the performers. Okay, so just keep that in mind. I think I'm gonna. You gotta be there every time. So next week we have a few things, really great things coming up. We have an author, Carol Babin. I say that name differently every time, so one of the iterations that I've done has got to be the right pronunciation. But anyway, it's Karen, and she is coming here on Tuesday, July 29th at 3 p.m. She's going to be reading from her new memoir, which is called The Allure of Elsewhere. And it's basically, she's newly divorced and she puts two really non-cooperative cats in a car and drives across country to Nova Scotia. So it's a really great book. Karen's going to be here on Tuesday up in the Shivers Room at 3 p.m. And then also next Thursday, July 31st, 6:30 p.m., we have Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson, who is going to be here reading from her new memoir, Purposeful Warrior. That is a ticketed event. I have the tickets back there. You don't have to pay for the tickets, but you need to have a ticket in order to get into the event, because we're anticipating large crowds with that. So we want to make sure that we have some crowd control on that. So if you want some, they'll be back there, or stop me as I'm leaving the stage, and I will hand you as many tickets as you want. But that is next Thursday, July 31st, 6:30 p.m. So lots of flyers, July and August. We do have some great music coming up in August. Next week we have the Boston Imposters, who are supposedly going to be on the steps next week, Wednesday at 6:30. And then we have Blues Day Tuesday, next Tuesday as well, and that is going to be the group Balloos. And those will both be on the steps, unless it's not going to happen, though. It's just not going to happen. Anyway, and then next month, just to give you a little preview of what's coming band-wise. Where did she put that? I don't put these together. So we have the Daryl Syria Project, who's going to be performing August 13th. We have Gemini Moon, who's going to be performing. Gemini Moon is a traveling group of man and a woman duo, and they play like alt rock kind of guitar-driven music. I'll tell you what they say. Gemini Moon performs guitar-driven originals with male-female lead vocals and harmonies, as well as fresh interpretations of classic and modern covers from artists like Elle King, Jimi Hendrix, and Fleetwood Mac. So there you go. And then Blues Day Tuesday at the end of August is going to be the Flat Rope Blues Band on August 26th. So lots of great stuff coming up, but you're not here to hear me or see me. I know I'm great to look at. But you want to see these guys, and you want to hear these guys, so please give a big Peter Public Library welcome to Ramble Tamble.
Marty. Yeah, we're Ramble Tamble. We're an instrumental surf band from right here in Marquette. You're going to hear some covers, you're going to hear some originals, and you're definitely going to hear us. stay off the beach grass. This next one's called Out of Limits. Chris Bloom on the drums, everybody. This is by a band from the 60s called the Marquettes, actually. It's called Bonanza. Does anybody remember Bonanza Steakhouse? We love that place. Our drummer works there. You probably heard his story. He's gonna take his break from the dumpster. Bonanza. This next one we're going to play, Ozzy Osbourne died yesterday. Real bummer. So we're going to play a Black Sabbath song in his honor. We love Black Sabbath. It's probably in our DNA. I liked Sabbath as long as I can remember. In the womb, supposedly, Mom used to put headphones on her stomach, and that's the only music I would move along to. So cute. Song's called Paranoid. Next number is called Walk Like an Egyptian. If you feel like dancing, there's room up here on the stage, there's room up here in the front, there's room in the halls, there's room upstairs probably. How you guys doing out there? Yes. We got a couple more numbers for you. Thanks again to Marty and the Peter Webb Public Library for having us, and for all of you coming out here despite the rain. This next number is by a band called The Zombies. It's called Time of the Season. a few more. Do you want to hear one of our songs, or do you want to hear something you know? All right, yell really loud if you want to hear an original. Yell if you want to hear a surf song, a classic surf song. All right, original, maybe.
We hate surf.
All right, we just practiced this song for the first time today. When I was in high school, I spent a lot of time here. This is my first job here, actually, and I got a book called The Monkey Wrench Gang, if anybody's familiar with that. Edward Abbey. And we had a song on our first record called Monkey Wrenchin'. You know what monkey wrenching is? When you sabotage sensitive equipment. And then Edward Abbey had a sequel to that called Hey Duke Lives, and that's the name of this song, Hey Duke Lives. Yeah, I wrote out of it. Here we go.
That's all you need.
It's gonna be good.
Yep.
I guess we got about time for one more song. What's that? Indicata Davida. doing, guys? Sorry, Mike. We got merch over here. Our drummer makes all those shirts over there. We got CDs, koozies. I don't know. It's over there. Take it, steal it. I don't know.
You can't have the awesome.
Yeah, you can't take Nick's Jägermeister bucket though. He'll be really sad.
I'll be really cry. You can't put money.
You can put money in
Put
it.
money in it.
We're playing it. If you want to see us outside, we're playing at Diggs this Friday from 7 to 10. Yourself a painkiller, a Mai Tai, a hot dog. What's more summer than that? Cold glass of water.
It's all glass of water.
We're playing Farm Block Festival up in the Keweenaw. If anybody knows Farm Block, be there. I don't know. Thanks for listening. Thanks again to Marty and the library and my mom for helping us haul our stuff here. She always does that. Over here on the keys, we got Nick Jones. Spastic Nick with the pancakes, I heard his nickname was. We got Devin Trost on the bass. That's my little brother. We got Chris Bloom, Teacher of the Year, on the drum. Chris and I have been playing music together for 15 years now. We're old. And I'm Dylan Trost. This song is by an artist that you know and we love, and maybe you love too. Her name is Britney Spears. We're at Digs this Friday. Thanks for coming out. We'll see you around. Oh, thanks. Thank you.